Spicy, hey?
Yes, spicy. Not that I expected anything less.
The top 5 polling mayoral candidates go toe-to-toe.
I just don't understand. Again, different focus 4 years ago from today.
Councillor Sharp, reserve funds are still taxpayer dollars.
In a debate at the Jack Singer Concert Hall. Overcrowded classrooms, we dig into a major issue for striking Alberta teachers. And Keystone XL comeback? The project could be revived after a conversation in the White House.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. A full house at the Jack Singer Concert Hall tonight, where the Calgary Chamber of Commerce hosted a mayoral debate featuring the top 5 polling candidates.
I would say break a leg, but I did that cycling a couple of weeks ago.
The Chamber's president and CEO, Deborah Yedlin, moderated the 90-minute debate, which focused on 4 key areas: safety, particularly in the downtown; sustaining Calgary's vibrant arts and culture scene, which contributes $3 billion to the city's economy; supporting small businesses, along with keeping up with housing and infrastructure while maintaining fiscal responsibility. The candidates were given an opportunity to share their thoughts on how to face these challenges, and even were able to call their fellow peers out.
And that's the kind of investment you were too afraid to make back then, and you're still criticizing us for making an investment now. You're fearful of making investment, and you don't understand how things work when it comes to creating vibrancy.
Leadership means being willing to show up on a stage like this and admit that you're wrong, right? I've made mistakes and I've learned.
Take you back to November 2020, when you seconded the report that actually gave you a heads up that the increased water loss in Calgary's distribution was happening. So where have you been for 4 years? And now this is a thing, all of a sudden you want to talk about water leakage? I just don't understand. Again, different focus 4 years ago from today.
I think we need to talk a little bit about budgets. For Councillor Sharp, reserve funds are still taxpayer dollars.
Small business in our city is the #1 employer. It is critical we get this right and those doors remain open.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Advanced voting goes until this Saturday, with the big civic vote happening on October 20th. Alberta teachers remain on strike, and one of the biggest sticking points is the size of classes. Tonight, both sides say they want better learning conditions, but disagree on how to get there. Kevin Green reports.
Alberta's classrooms are at the heart of the fight, not because they're sitting empty due to the strike, but because they're too full when class is in. But the education minister says setting hard caps on class sizes doesn't work.
The only evidence that we found is that the caps must reduce class sizes beyond a level of 16 or 17 students per classroom to have any kind of measurable effectiveness.
Demetrius Nicolaides says that's unattainable given Alberta's growing population.
My priority is to work on addressing those issues. I want to work on hiring more teachers, hiring more EAs, building more schools so that every student has the best possible conditions that they have to thrive.
But researchers say the evidence and teachers' lived experience tell a different story.
We know that there are studies that have shown that for students, particularly younger students, decreases in class sizes have had a positive impact.
Without class limits, Hamilton notes Alberta is an outlier.
There is no limit on how many students can be in a classroom. We are only one of 2 provinces that don't have that right now, us and Saskatchewan.
The ATA says for teachers, it's not just a statistic, it's a working condition.
You might have students that have learning disabilities or other sorts of needs in class. Maybe you only get 15 kids. That allows the teacher time to work with all students in the classroom, and that's really important.
As both sides continue to trade statistics and accusations, class size remains a central issue, keeping teachers off the job and students out of school, with the ATA saying the government's offer to hire 3,000 new teachers doesn't go far enough.
Our teachers voted that down because they said it's not enough.
Both sides in this dispute say informal talks through back channels are taking place, but negotiators are not sitting down face-to-face at the table, and neither side says they think a deal is imminent. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Signatures will start being collected next week on a proposed petition to stop putting public money towards Alberta private schools. The effort was launched by Calgary teacher Alicia Taylor. More than $450 million of the provincial education budget goes towards private schools. This year, fewer than 50,000 students attend the independent schools in Alberta. Taylor says she wants to see if Albertans think public dollars should only go to public schools.
I was noticing Daniel Smith in a number of interviews saying there was no more money available for public education. And I know that there's a pocket of money that's going to private schools, and I am hoping that we can redivert that to support all students.
Financial officer will need to be appointed to the campaign. The petition will need to receive at least 177,000 signatures in 120 days to be put on a ballot. Is it a revival of a pipe dream? The Keystone XL pipeline expansion project, canceled twice, may be back on the table. CTV News has learned it was discussed during the Prime Minister's meeting with President Donald Trump at the White House yesterday. But how serious is Mark Carney in bringing back the shelved proposal? Tyson Fedor has more.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
Very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A return to Ottawa for the Prime Minister, as sources tell CTV News he floated the idea of a Keystone XL expansion revival.
We should build more pipelines.
Any pipeline's a good pipeline. We just need more deliveries.
TC Energy's controversial project dates back to 2008 and was to carry crude from Hardisty, Alberta to Nebraska. But it was rejected by U.S. President Barack Obama, then revived in Donald Trump's first term and canceled again in 2021 under the Joe Biden administration. But Trump revoked that order this year.
Keystone XL isn't a thing anymore. Many of the rights of way have expired. The pipe that was in the ground, much of it's been pulled out. So it would have to start at square one.
The project would link energy between the two countries and could serve as a relief measure for steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
It comes as Alberta and BC squabble over a new pipeline to the BC North Coast, with Premier David Eby opposed and Premier Danielle Smith seeking routes within Canada to export Alberta energy.
I suppose I could just go down to the United States and start working with American counterparts to see if we can build more pipelines. They've expressed an interest in restarting the Keystone XL, and I suppose we could maybe sell another 1 million or 2 million barrels a day additional to the United States.
A former TC Energy executive who worked on the initial Keystone proposal says this could benefit Canada's energy sector if Mark Carney is serious.
If Mark Carney sends the right signals, there will be a proponent. It avoids the issue of having to get the concurrence of British Columbia and all of the much more unsettled circumstances with respect to land claims. The question, however, still is there that the industry itself may prefer a West Coast option because of the greater optionality.
The project aimed to carry more than 800,000 barrels of oil a day south of the border. Its failure cost the Alberta government more than $1.3 billion. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
A Calgary man is once again featured on Canada's Most Wanted list. It's a rundown of the 25 most wanted fugitives across Canada. This year, volunteers dressed as the most wanted at a news conference. The list includes Talal Amer, who is wanted by Calgary police for manslaughter. Investigators believe Amer was speeding in a stolen truck while shooting back and forth with another vehicle back in May 2022 when he slammed into Angela McKenzie's minivan, killing the mother of 5. The BOLO program's website has also been updated with Amer and the top 25 fugitives' mugshots now moving using generative AI.
These fugitives, they're among us right now. So we need to give, if we ask people to be on the lookout, it's got to be user-friendly. So we're trying to make this as real as possible.
Amer is a known gangster with a long criminal history and is considered dangerous and unpredictable. Anyone who sees him is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. It's been 30 years since Calgary police first flew over our city in their own helicopter. Officers and civilians gathered for the anniversary of the Helicopter Air Watch for Community Safety, also known as Hawks. The event is also a special service of remembrance for Constable Rick Sonnenberg. In 1993, the officer was struck and killed by a speeding stolen car while he was laying a bike belt on Deerfoot Trail. CPS soon began the process of acquiring a helicopter, as aerial patrol was considered safer than high-speed chases. In July 1995, Hawks took off in the constable's honor.
We talk about apprehending bad people. We talk about assisting with missing persons, but we want every Calgarian, just like every police officer, to come home safe. And we can use and help that with this aerial platform that we've been using.
Calgary was the first Canadian municipal police force with a full-time aerial program. Now, nearly every major city in the developed world uses police helicopters. Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. Boy, do we have a long weekend forecast to tell you about.
Yeah.
But before we get there, the good news?
Yeah, I mean, this work week is fantastic. It's bright. It's maybe not the warmest today. Today things chilled down a little bit because of that cooler wind out of the north, but it's a little warmer tomorrow. We will dip to that freezing mark overnight. So by 8 a.m. we're just at 1 degree. So keep in mind a cool start to the day, but it will be bright, it will be sunny, and we'll get up to about 16 degrees in the afternoon. We will be nowhere near 16 degrees by Thanksgiving long weekend. In fact, wet snow is in our forecast. Those details are just ahead.
Thanks very much, Danielle. The Toronto Blue Jays are moving on in the postseason after beating the New York Yankees 5-2 tonight in Game 4 in the best-of-5 series. And young baseball players here in Calgary are watching the Jays' playoff run closely. These athletes from the U18 Cardinals have been practicing at the Gladmere Ballpark in Killarney in the Southwest. While training, they keep track of the Blue Jays-Yankees scores. They say they are excited that a Canadian-based team is doing so well, and they think it's great overall for the sport.
I've watched every game. It's so awesome. I don't know, it's just such an inspiration to watch the Canadian team do so well, you know?
Actually doing pretty sweet. It's actually pretty awesome.
They're just hitting the ball, making good plays, got lots of good guys on the team. It's a fun season to watch.
I think they're doing fantastic. I mean, they're 20 wins more than last year, something like that, so great turnaround. I think it's amazing.
Indeed it is. Some of these players say they have other favorite Major League Baseball teams, but they are all rooting for the Jays to do well nonetheless, and they're moving on. The search goes on for a missing Southern Alberta boy. While the main search is over, some refuse to give up to find Darius McDougall. Homeowner in Oak Ridge sent along this video of a black bear wandering in the Southwest community. It was spotted around 5 this morning in Oakwood Place. The bear was first seen Sunday in a green space near South Glenmore Park. Fish and Wildlife say it is not displaying aggressive behavior. Police are cautioning anyone who sees the bear to keep their distance. Teachers in Cochrane rallied support today with the help of their four-legged friends. Dozens of dogs and their families marched through Cochrane over the noon hour. Teachers say because they can't meet at the schools, they had to find another way to get together to support each other. And they also got a positive reception from the public.
We are community members. We're here for our students. That these are the stories that we wanted. And so we hope that, you know, as we're walking, maybe we run into people, we can just tell that, you know, things that are happening in the school, things that we want to see happening in the school more and more, and being able to share that.
Williams Day says teachers are more than just purveyors of knowledge. They are mentors and role models for students. The teacher strike is having an impact on Alberta's small businesses. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says it reduces productivity for many workers with children. CFIB says during last year's teacher strike in Saskatchewan, 1/3 of small businesses reported a negative impact on their operations, including staffing challenges and lost sales and revenue. While local businesses are feeling the impact, some are also showing their support for teachers, offering free or discounted food and drinks during the strike.
Teachers are just so important. Like, our entire future is based on the next generation, and the teachers are the ones who are doing that. And what it sounds like, I couldn't imagine being in the classroom right now, you know, with that many kids and how that affects, you know, the learning for each one. So doing this, we just want to show our support and thank you for what they're doing.
According to CFIB, Alberta's small business confidence is already slumping because of a skilled labor shortage, tariffs, and the postal strike. The teacher strike is the latest of many challenges. It's been more than 2 weeks since an Alberta boy disappeared while camping with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area. While the official search was called off last week, civilians are now scouring the area in hopes of finding the 6-year-old. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee with one of the civilian searchers.
That's a huge area.
Each step deliberate, every movement purposeful. Mike Hassel scans for the faintest signs of disturbance.
I'm kind of going on the pathway of least resistance, figuring, well, where the little child go.
The child he is looking for is 6-year-old Darius McDougall from Lethbridge, Alberta. He went missing while on a camping trip with his family in the Crow's Nest Pass area more than 2 weeks ago, wearing these clothes.
This is my second time out here trying to do what I can.
The area where Darius went missing is very rugged. As you can see, this is incredibly tough terrain to navigate, even for the most experienced people.
Slippery as well. And you also got other factors such as wildlife, like bears are high, so there's high chance of bears.
All reasons the public was asked to stay away while professionals combed the area. But after 11 days of searching by hundreds of volunteers from Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, with no signs of Darius, the formal search was called off and the area reopened. Authorities say it's unlikely that Darius survived. As the RCMP continues its investigation, a community of civilian searchers grows on Facebook. Many, just like Hassel, heading out on their own.
This whole area was searched rigorously with helicopters, infrared, like the works. But it never hurts just to go over it again and just see what I can do.
And Hassel will continue to retrace more ground, steadfast in his effort to find Darius, saying he wants to bring hope, comfort, and closure to the child's family. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta.
RCMP say they have followed up on 36 Crime Stoppers tips and another 20 called into the detachment with no results. Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast, and we do have another nice day on the way before things really take a turn as we head into the long weekend. Details next.
Talked about it. You were prepared for it. You felt it a little cooler out there compared to yesterday, thanks to those winds that were gusting out of the north at times today. 13 was our high. That was at midnight, though, and then in the afternoon we only got to 11 degrees. So yes, cooler than the 20s we had the day before. So our temperatures were much like Vancouver, Victoria, Toronto, Ottawa, but Regina, Saskatoon, Fredericton, and Halifax did get into the 20s. We'll get close to that by Friday, so we have a warming trend, a 2-day warming trend starting, and then a huge cooling trend for Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to drop to that freezing mark. I'll show you that in just a second. Nothing to talk about out there on the satellite and radar for the next couple of days. It's quiet, and we'll even get a nice push of warm air from the south for Friday, and that's what's going to carry us close to that 20-degree mark. But let me fast forward to the weekend, and this huge low is going to roll on over us, and that means 1, much cooler temperatures. 2, when we get the moisture from this, it's going to be a rain and wet snow mix. Yes, even in the city of Calgary. Okay, so let's play through the next couple of days here, and as you can see, nothing going on in southern Alberta other than some cloudy periods at times. Late Friday is when this system starts to redevelop on our side of the Rockies. You can see that counterclockwise spin. So for Saturday, in the morning, the clouds will increase, and then by the afternoon hours on Saturday, we'll have a little bit of rain start to move in. And then as we dip below, to and below that freezing mark Saturday night, that's when that rain will switch into the wet snow, because it's going to pull in some much cooler air behind the system. So that's what your longer range forecast looks like this. 16 degrees. There's a dancing turkey, maybe to lighten the mood a little bit for our long weekend forecast. 16 degrees for tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. 19 for Friday, mainly sunny skies. Saturday, the clouds increase, and then in the afternoon, likely some showers. Then look how low we dip on Saturday night, -3. So that rain will switch into wet snow, and then snow carrying into Sunday. Sunday's high just 2 degrees. Monday's high one. So the twerking turkey hopefully makes you a little happier when you're looking at that forecast.
Twerking turkey, fanning turkey. It's a cute turkey. All right. Calgary researchers are looking for something a little unusual. Your toenail clippings. Just ahead, how your contribution could help scientists learn more about radon and cancer. Scientists at the University of Calgary are launching a groundbreaking study, but it involves an unusual request from participants. They're asking for your toenails to learn more about why even those who seem perfectly healthy are diagnosed with lung cancer. This research could lead to earlier screening and potentially life-saving treatments. Mark Villani has more.
Emmy Bossio loves the outdoors, so whether hiking in the mountains or relaxing at the beach, the Calgary woman was always active and healthy.
I ate well, I checked all the chemicals in my cosmetics, I was very conscious about my health.
But a nagging cough wouldn't go away, and doctors noticed something wrong.
I was diagnosed at 47 with lung cancer, having never smoked.
Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but number 2 is radon, an odorless radioactive gas linked to Canada's high uranium levels in soil.
The world's most radon-exposed people on this planet.
So to investigate, scientists at the University of Calgary are analyzing something unusual: toenail clippings. They say when radon is inhaled, it precipitates into solid lead, and toenails are a main place to find it.
Toenails are a very good long-term, what we call biological archive of long-term exposure.
The samples are collected and melted down to measure tiny traces of lead-210, the radioactive byproduct left behind when radon decays in the body.
And that's our clue.
Researchers also tested radon levels in participants' homes and found that higher levels of radioactive lead in toenails matched homes with elevated radon readings.
To use that information to say something about disease or exposure to toxic elements in the environment, that's where I think there's a lot of opportunity.
40 people have had their toenails analyzed so far, but new funding from the Canadian Cancer Society aims to expand the study to 10,000 participants nationwide. Promising news for some lung cancer patients who say this could lead to earlier treatments and screening.
So I think for lung cancer patients being diagnosed, there's hope. And this is one of those things that will help with hope.
And if all goes well, the hope is that a simple toenail test will ultimately save lives.
That's why these studies are so critical.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The University of Calgary is still looking for more participants to measure and collect toenails from over the course of a 4-month period. For more information, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.